That looks so cool up there.
Hi, you guys.
What's up, everybody?
Hello, hello. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
We are met.
Thank you for your patience, guys. We're
Happy
just
Saturday.
rushing through the building to come hang out with you today. Yes.
Yeah, well, thank you for the rush. We appreciate you being here, of course. Welcome to Des Moines. I don't know, is anyone first time here in Des Moines?
I think it's mine.
Yeah.
Okay. Very
Second
cool
time
city.
for me.
Have you walked around at all? I mean, we got perfect weather.
Beautiful
Very
city.
perfect
Very
weather.
nice, yes.
We were talking in the back here about how clean it is around
yeah.
here and just nice and walkable and nice.
It's
Not used to all that.
Definitely nice, definitely fun to be
the
here.
hood.
Not where LA experience.
I'm sure it's also a pretty cool change of pace to be here at a Animate / Nightmare Weekend, which is a horror convention. Are any horror fans amongst us?
Well, you know what's really cool is Kane Hodder is here, and he's
Yes.
he's like one of the actors for Jason
Friday the 13th
Voorhees.
Jason, yeah.
He's also the mocap when the Friday the 13th game, and I'm in the Friday the 13th game, so it's
go.
like pretty cool.
That's
I was
so
like, whoa,
cool.
Kane's here! Yeah.
Is it the first time you got to like meet or interact with him?
I haven't met or interacted with him yet. I've just stared from afar.
Just being a weirdo, just like him.
It's like, wow.
No, you got to go say what's up. But yeah, horror fans. I mean, you guys have any specific horror fandoms that you're into?
Japanese horror films are some of my, like The Ring, you know, Ju-on.
Oh, yeah,
and like
yeah, yeah.
I love some of that stuff. I tried to get my wife into that. It did not go well. We made it about like 10 minutes into the Ring, where the part where they do the quick jump scare to the dead body in the closet, like way early in the movie. She's like, I'm out. So it's just me by myself sitting on the couch some nights watching horror. Yeah.
My husband and my oldest love horror films. And I am persuaded to watch them every so often, but I have a really overactive imagination. And there are two films that have like wrecked me for life. One is a French film called High Tension. Y'all, has anybody seen this? It is horrifying. Like, it will change your life. I was so mad at my husband for making me. And then we watched The Descent. Y'all, so claustrophobic. I thought it was like, this horror is the claustrophobia, right? Plus monsters.
Dang.
Plus monsters in the dark.
It's fun to be
underground.
scared.
It's not right.
It's fun.
I like it. I like being scared. I think it's fun. All right, we do have a big line of people over here. So really quickly, before we get into the line of questions, why don't we just quickly introduce ourselves and the voices that we voiced on the show?
Cool. I'm a 90s Kinonis. I voice Mirko in My Hero Academia. And other characters like Kimberly from Street Fighter, Lynette from Genshin Impact, Fei Xiao from Honkai Star Rail. I'm the new voice of Map in the new Dora series, so that's really cool. And yeah.
Cool. My name is Zeno Robinson. I voice Hawks in My Hero Academia. He's a pretty cool guy. I also play Junpei in Persona 3 Reload, Hunter from the Owl House. I had a lot of Pokemon fans this weekend, so I'm also Go in Pokemon, and I'm Fuecoco in Pokemon Horizon, so it's pretty cool. Yeah.
I'm Lucy Christian in My Hero. I am Ochako Uraraka.
Woo!
I also get to take a turn as recovery girl every now and then. I'll come in and be like, All Might, I told you to watch out for that young man.
Oh, I did not know that.
Super fun.
awesome.
That's my like secret flex. It's like, every now and then the voice actors do like, what's your flex? And I'm like, well, I'm both of those in the same show.
That's so cool.
I would say Recovery Girl is cooler, to be honest.
So cool. I'm hoping that someday they get to do like when the pro heroes were in
Ooh,
at
a
UA.
little prequel.
I think that would be super fun.
Agreed.
I think Ochako and Recovery Girl and Gran Torino probably had a thing. That's just my take. That's my take.
Yeah.
And I'm Nami in One Piece. That's kind of the big thing right now.
My name's Chris Waycamp, and I'm the voice of Shota Aizawa in My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Dad energy.
From this year, two shows I'm really excited to be a part of. Number one is a show called Freerin, and I voice a guy named Zine. He's like the womanizing healer of the group. And another show called Kaiju Number 8. I get to play Isao Shinomiya. Thanks for having us out.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here, of course. And let's try to keep our questions quick. We get through the whole line. And again, I'll be the bad guy to cut the line off if we run out of time. So hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Deku, you're in the light.
Hi, my name's Peyton, and my question is if you had something to say to aspiring voice actors, what would you say to them?
Ooh. What would you say to aspiring voice actors?
Yeah, I mean, don't give up because it's a lot of rejection, but I would say it's all 100% worth it in the end if you just don't quit. Every day that you are out there trying to better yourself as an artist, somebody else that you would have been perhaps competing with for a role has decided to stop. And so remember, every day that you don't quit, you are one day closer to booking that role that you really want.
Just wait for other people to quit.
Everybody needs to quit first.
That's true.
Perseverance.
Perseverance, yes.
Also, I would say voice work is a really broad category of work. So think of it that way. I'm 100% convinced that my longevity in this business is because I have never just done anime. You do games, and you do audiobooks, and you do training videos, and you do commercial work, and you do this and that and whatever, and it all makes up a career because they're always coming and going. And that's just the nature of it, you know?
That's right.
Yeah, pretty similar to Chris says. Just don't give up. If you love it, like you gotta remember that you love it because that's the only thing that's gonna sort of keep you persevering. So that's always my advice. Is just like you love this thing, so that's why you do it.
A big thing I always say is make sure you are having fun at all times because I think when you get into the business of it, it is very easy to get caught up in whether or not you're getting that audition, whether or not you're getting that role or whatever, and you need to make sure that your foundation is one where you have passion and that you love it. Otherwise, everything else is just overbearing, you know?
So true.
Yeah, just make sure you have fun.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great question. All right, hi.
Hello. So my favorite question and my favorite thought is Pokemon and My Hero both have animals having powers and people having powers. So what's your favorite Pokemon?
Yeah, Pipple's a good one. Mine's Quilava. I think he's really cool.
I don't know. My daughter is the Pokemon person.
What's your daughter's favorite?
I'm not sure. All of them. I tried to flex by being like, you know, Sarah is my friend. She plays Ash, and she was like, okay.
Sure, Mom.
They are over me.
And now you're at the same con that she's like.
I'm like, we're friends. They don't care. They don't care.
I don't know a whole lot about Pokemon, but I do like Snorlax a lot.
Yeah.
I know which one that
Just
is.
the sleepy guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I just like the sleepy guy.
Very Aizawa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, I'm Colonel Mustard, and
I was wondering what you were.
the bottle sound. I just want to say, first of all, thank you guys so much for bringing these characters to life. Like, reading them is one thing, but hearing them scream and cry and yell and laugh is insane, and you do it with just your voices. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Mine goes for the difference between acting in front of a camera and acting in front of a microphone. There are definitely differences. If you could pick maybe one or two that you want or maybe don't want. For instance, if you see your character's face on a t-shirt, you're like, that's cool. I'm glad they don't recognize me from just my face. Anything like that you'd want or don't want.
I've been doing this for 13 years. This is my 13th year doing it professionally. I've been recognized twice in public. And they were both at Target, which is weird. I don't know why, but it was like the meat counter of Target was the first one, and then just walking down an aisle and so there is a level of anonymity to it that I think is kind of invaluable. You can't really put a price on it because, yeah, I just feel like a normal person all the time until I come here and I sit on stages like this, and so that's wonderful. You know, I think it's also become a lot more understood as a mainstream thing. Like maybe 25 years ago, if you'll talk to the folks that were doing it back then, voiceover and voice acting specifically were not necessarily recognized. Like the people doing it were just the unsung heroes of the industry. And like I feel like now that's all changed. And so it's kind of a pretty amazing time for voice acting right now. It's like a really cool moment to be a part of, for sure. Thank you, Colonel Mustard.
That's great. Do you guys have anything to add?
I guess like on camera is just a bit different in the technical. I try not to separate the two as an actor, but it's mostly technical. Like being a voice actor and being an on-camera actor. On-camera actor, there's a lot more like technical aspects of auditioning and like placing an eye line. But when you're on set, like you have everybody there, and like the set's somewhat made to like make you put yourself there. Where in voice acting, you sort of have to just use your imagination, or with anime, what's on the screen. And I think those are the main differences. I try not to put too much of a distinction between the two, because a lot of times in the industry now, like everyone wants quote unquote grounded reads or cinematic reads. So I try to like not differentiate them as much as possible, so there's no like lines that I have to delineate or anything like that.
I do think I just did an on-camera audition, and the thing. I love voice work. And I feel like I'll just say, as a woman, I really like voice work because I have had 2 children. Your body goes through changes, you age, but there's just so much you can do with your voice, and the microphone doesn't care what you look like. And I make a lot of dumb faces. When I audition on camera, I am so conscious of my face. Like trying not to let my face move too much, because there's a simplicity that you kind of need to, because you're just playing to this box. Anyway, I prefer voice work. But the challenge of on camera keeps me trying. Like, it's a challenge for me.
Yeah.
It's harder for me.
Cool.
Hi, my name is Wendy Hassel. I'm currently cosplaying as Yusei Photo. I gotta say, I'm a huge fan of My Hero Academia. I just love the characters and everything. And my question is, what is your guys' like favorite part of doing the anime, and like, do you have any particular favorite seasons that you've done in particular?
Favorite season? I still think season 2 is pretty undefeated in my book because of the sports festival. Sports festival, I can just go back to and enjoy. You know, it was simpler times in the world of My Hero. Also, things were a little less toned down in terms of the drama, but not in terms of like the animation quality. And you know, I feel like the performances are really awesome in season 2. It's the one that I can just put on in the background and just enjoy it, you know, at kind of at any time. So that's my answer.
One of my favorite, I will say also season 2. One of my favorite things about the show is that it was so many people's gateway to anime. I think it's a perfect gateway show, and a bunch of young kids, that's going to be their first show. Like I feel like Dragon Ball was for a lot of people. I think My Hero is going to be for a lot of younger people. It's such an accessible show, and it's awesome to be a part of that.
I sort of agree. I think it's kind of this really cool sort of generational show that like anybody can kind of pick up and watch. And I was just saying this, I think like yesterday, like just like being a part of the world and joining like the incredible cast. It's something that like when I auditioned, I'd never thought was possible. So I'm just honored to like be a part of it in general. So yeah.
Yeah, season 6 was my favorite to do for my character, but man, I remember when the show first started airing, and I remember at the time I was working at an anime store. So like I got to see it blow up, you know, locally where I worked. And yeah, it's crazy just how much it's grown, and like going to different states and like seeing the fandoms in different states and everything. And it's like, oh, this is so cool that I get to be even a small part of this. Like, what a blessing. So it's awesome.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name is Scarlett. Nice to meet you, everybody.
Hello.
My question is, if you were a superhero or supervillain, what would be the name of your movie/TV show?
Whoa.
I would like to see like a buddy cop show with Aizawa. I think that'd be fun. Like maybe him and Mike just going around solving mysteries together, and occasionally they have to bring in like Ms. Joke as sort of like, you know, the third wheel to like, you know, she's a psychic or something, and she can like, you know, to hold the evidence at the scene, and like she can tell. I don't know. I think that'd be fun. Anytime there's a dynamic between those 3 specifically. I just enjoy it a lot. And Amber Lee Connors, who's the voice of Miss Joke, is hilarious. And there's a lot to love about that. So, and I love, procedural cop stuff. So I think it'd be fun. But if it had sort of like a Brooklyn Nine-Nine vibe where it's not taking itself too seriously, it's just like more of a comedic sort of take on it, I would watch the heck out of that.
So that makes me think that we need a Friends reboot with like Ochako and Froppy and like some people over here and then some of the boys across the hall, and like the Gunther character in the coffee shop would be like Minetta. Like kind of creepy, like that would be super fun. And it would be all about like, oh, the boys can't move in. Oh, Ochako's gonna move the furniture again. Like, it's so dumb. Super situational, like comedy.
Bring the quirks into it. That's awesome.
Yes, quirks abound.
I really see, I don't know why this the first thing that came to my head, but I really see Hawks in like a noir detective sort of setting, like where he's narrating everything. It's like, I was at the scene of the crime, like, and like, I just feel like that's just how he is in general. So I see him doing this like weird detective, some spy thriller thing going on.
I feel like Mirko, like, obviously would be a hero, but then a lot of the time her series would be spent, like, in courtrooms trying to explain, no, I didn't mean to assault you. You were just...
You just deserved it.
So just kind of having to deal with, like, how aggressive she could be. Yeah.
I feel like Hawks would be her lawyer, like...
You need to stop, Rumi.
Can you not, maybe,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
My name's Sophia, and my question is, if your character worked at a fast food restaurant, where would they work and how would they deal with a Karen?
A Karen. Yeah, I love that. Oh my gosh. Well, not many people know this, but do you guys have Carl's Jr. here? Is that a thing? Hardee's. So I'm the voice of Carl's Jr. like across the country. So
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You're the voice of Carl's Jr.?
I'm the guy, yeah. So Aizawa's the voice of Carl's Jr. It's really Aizawa too. Like I'll do I'll do it for you. So it's
What?
Carl's Jr. Eat like you mean it. So I feel like Aizawa has to be a Carl's Jr. and if he had a Karen, I think he would just be like, ma'am, this is a Carl's Jr. Great question. I've never had that before.
That's good. Do y'all have an answer? I'm still thinking.
Hawks would clearly work at Popeyes. I just feel like that's always a given. Hawks would work at Popeyes. And dealing with a Karen, I don't know. He probably outwit her. He'd probably be like, oh, yeah, okay, well, I'm also the manager, so... what are you gonna do now? Like, you gonna eat the food, or am I gonna have to kick you out? Like, you probably use his quirk and like grab her with the feathers and like just carry her out. Like you probably wouldn't even bother. You'd be like, okay, and that's enough, man. Bye.
See, I feel like I can't think of a specific place where she would work because I genuinely feel like she would be hopping around because she is constantly punching the Karens because they're just doing too much.
Could she hold a job? Like
I don't think she could. She tries.
Getting mad at it.
But she just, the short fuse. Right. It is so short and it's just like, absolutely not.
I don't know. Ochako is so... probably conflict averse. Like with a Karen, she's just like, one moment, ma'am. or if somebody is just like totally out of line, she could float there. She could be like, you know what? Let me move you to some place more comfortable and just like float them away. A little infinity sign appears, like she's floated them away.
Or she just floats away herself.
She's like, I have to go.
She's gonna go hide in the broom closet until she leaves.
Thank you.
Fun question.
Thank you.
All right, hi, what's your name and what's your question?
My name is Destiny, and first I just wanted to thank you all for voicing these characters and bringing them to life. My Hero was actually my first anime that I watched right after I had a stroke in my teens, so it kind of wrecked a lot of the things I'd been doing before. I couldn't do these physical things anymore, and I didn't know who I was. My hero really was the only light I had in my life for a while. And it was one of the things that my dad watched with me, and that was one of the things we bonded over, and he was able to help me through a lot of my struggles at the time because of my hero, and that being like the key to that. So thank you for that.
Thank you for sharing that. That's
Yeah,
really
thank you. Yeah.
That's really heartwarming.
Thank you. My question was, where do you think the best place to start for someone who is starting out voice acting, who's gotten all the equipment and is about to start auditioning and stuff? What do you think the best start for that is, and what do you think the best thing about voice acting is for you?
The best thing for me is that I get out of the booth and come to places like this and hang out with people like you and meet you and hear inspiring stories like that and hear what these things that we're working on kind of just on our own by ourselves can really mean to people. That is the best part for me. And especially getting to meet the kids, because the kids especially are the best fans for me, because their fandom is so pure. They just like it because they like it. They don't even know why they like it, you know? Like and I can really connect to that, because when I was, a kid, that's how I felt about this stuff too. Like I couldn't give you an analysis of it. I just loved it, that's all I knew. So that aspect of it is really amazing. And the only thing I'll add to, starting as a voice actor, I think, is record yourself a lot. Because in the beginning, most of us hear our voices played back and it sounds grating to us and it sounds weird and it didn't come out the way we wanted it to. And a lot of that comes down to reps. I used to drive down the road doing my day job before I transitioned to this professionally full time, and I would just literally record myself on my phone and I would play it back to myself. It was something I had heard Chris Sabat say one time in an interview. And so I was like, I'm just gonna try that. I'm gonna just record myself. I hated it. It was awful. I sounded so embarrassing to myself, but it was just me in my car, and so there was nobody else around to hear it, and I wasn't hurting anybody. So I highly recommend that.
Thank you.
I know I'm just going to say for voice actors, I know there's a lot of remote work, but probably if you're getting started and you can, I would pick a market to move to that you like. If you have always wanted to live in California, pick that market. Pick where you like, but where there's a little more work to be had, because sometimes, especially when you're just starting out, getting in front of somebody is invaluable.
That's true.
It just really is. If you can. Not everybody can. If you can, I would pick a market and go there and start building a life.
Right.
To add on to that, the part about putting yourself out there, like a lot of actors I know, got a lot of traction by putting together demos, whether it was professionally or on their own, and putting them on social media or putting them online. And I think the more of work, or the more, even if it's just practice, I did a practice thing and you put it online, the more you get in front of the stage, I think the more you'll get comfortable with doing that, and then the more people can give you feedback and the more you can improve. So alongside just practicing and putting yourself out there is definitely put yourself out there.
I personally started off online. So as somebody who had all the equipment but never lived in the markets until very recently, Voice Acting Club is a very wonderful place that has a bunch of great, fantastic tutorials. It's ran by Kara Buckland, who is the voice of Jolene and JoJo. And just literally any question you have, you can get it answered on the Discord or anywhere. It's a great resource. I personally started off doing, at first I a lot of fan dubs and comic dubs and all that stuff, but then eventually transitioned into doing work for college animators who were doing their theses. So I would do voice acting for that, or I would do a bunch of visual novels, a bunch of Steam games. I think right now, in the age of the internet, there is so much potential for collaboration and so much work out there. You're probably not going to be able to audition for something like Kaiju number 8 or whatever, from where you live. But you can find other things and just kind of build your portfolio from there. So I would suggest that from the start.
Thank
It's
you.
great advice, yeah.
All right, hey.
Hi, my name is Risham. First, before I ask my question, I just want to say thank you so much for coming all the way out here and to meet all these fans who love you, who love the show. It's been amazing. I just started it a few years ago, and I'm all caught up as far as I know. But I really appreciate all of you just coming here. I'm a really big fan.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Now my question is, as voice actors, now obviously the show hasn't ended, but what was one moment where you went in, you voiced your lines, and then you walked out, and then right as you walked out, you just said to yourself, yes! Like, what was your big yes moment in My Hero Academia?
Oh, man. There's been so many. I don't know. That's hard.
Ochako's speech at the end of season 6. That I listened to the Japanese, and I'm a tough cookie. I really don't ever lose it, because it's a technical job. I'm always looking at the flaps, and I know emotionally what I have to do, and the marriage of that is very technical for me generally. I watched through the Japanese and lost it. Lost it and went, oh no, I'm going to live up to that. Like, that was amazing, and I have to rise to the occasion, and it was great. It was great.
Yeah. I guess I'll go with season 5. The conversation between Aizawa and Present Mike and Kurogiri. And really seeing Aizawa finally let a lot of that pent-up emotion inside of him out, that sadness, was interesting, because fans had been talking to me about it at shows for like a long time. Like, that scene's coming up in the manga, that's coming up. And I was just like, so I felt like this mounting pressure inside of like, we've really got to deliver on this, because people who love Aizawa are really looking forward to it. And so between me and Colleen, we just took it really seriously. And that's probably some of the most takes we've done, for that character, just that whole scene, trying to make sure it just felt right. And that we could walk away from it and feel really good about it. So, because this guy doesn't get to cry very much, and so it's something that we thought was important to really put a lot of emphasis on.
When Hawks stabbed. Nah, okay. I'm messing with that. Yes, get him. No. I think a personal victory for me was it was in season 4, like at the end of season 4, when Hawks and Endeavor had that fight against the Nomu. Up to that point, I had been like trying to do anime for a really long time, and like I had gotten some roles here and there, but nothing that I felt like I could really like chew on. And so like I had never done any like fight scenes or anything like that before, so like I really kind of tried to give it 110% on that scene, because I didn't know when the next time I'd get to do something like that would be. And I just remember feeling really like it just felt really gratifying. Like afterward, like this was something I didn't think I was ever gonna get to do, and I got to do it in this show and in this way, playing this particular character. So I tried to like leave it all there.
Season 5, when Mirko is fighting very briefly against Dobby, and she's like, saw the news and hopped over and blah, blah, blah. Because I remember like season 4, everyone was being so judgmental online, as they do, their favorite thing. And they're like, oh my God, this is a terrible Mirko and blah, blah. And it's like, it's situational. Like, that was like the first like scene where, or season 5 was the first scene where she actually was like in battle, and so she's herself, and a lot of my sessions with Mirko has been like, oh, I have 15, 30 minutes, let's get this done, like that's the session. And I remember that being a very quick 15-minute session. That was very easy. And after that, everyone's like, oh my God, wow, Mirko's voice actor is so good.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, you just needed to wait. Season 5 was one of those like in and out. I felt pretty good after, so.
All right, thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
question.
Thank you.
Now, I must say, this is going to be our last question just because of the time. But everyone who's still waiting in line, at the end of the panel, we're going to do a stage selfie, and I'm going to have everybody who's here be closest to the stage before we fill in the rest. Okay, so just stick around, and this is our last question. Hi.
And then y'all feel free to come to our table.
Of course, yes.
For sure.
Go visit them at their table, and you can ask
For
your
sure.
question there.
Hi, my name is Jenna, and my question is, if you had a quirk in like the real world, what would it be? And it could be one that your character has, like one from the show, or one that we haven't seen in the show. Just a quirk that you would have in our world.
Whatever lets me be a waterbender.
Heck yeah. I get asked this, so I try to change answers just to see how on the fly it can be. Today's answer is healing hands. I stole it from D&D, but it's like, but I don't like how it operates in D&D because it's cheap. But it's just like, I touch you and you're healed. Whatever you're going through, you're healed, and you're healed, and you're healed. Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yours is a sweet quirk. I'm going to take a liberty and steal Robin's devil fruit from One Piece and make it a quirk.
That's kind of cool.
I would love to have all the hands to be able to. I feel like I could do so much. I could do so much if I just had a little more me.
Yeah, another you.
So good,
Right.
so good.
I try to, kind of like you, Zeno, I try to find different quirks, but I always try to find one that's a little controversial.
Okay, here we
Just
go.
I want to divide the room.
Yeah.
And so what I would really like to be able to do is just whenever I want to, I can convert the existing internet and social media back to like 1999. Like GeoCities.
Right. Yeah.
Like you open up your phone and it's like, what are these websites? Like
Right.
this is terrible.
Ask
Like,
Jeeves who?
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
is that on?
Yeah. Lycos and GeoCities and
remembers the sound of the
Netscape.
dial-up?
yes,
Yes.
dial-up modem.
AOL.
Like legit.
So if I wake up and I'm scrolling through and I'm like, this is just nonsense and hatred.
Yeah.
Like, nope, we're going back to
No
1999 today.
Yeah.
And everybody's got to deal with it.
Take that, Elon.
Yeah.
Y'all better create your own website.
Little digital beepers.
Right.
Y'all had a beeper forever.
Heck yeah, you were cool if you had a beeper.
You were so
That
cool.
was the way to
That
be.
number would appear on your beeper, and you had to find a phone to call that person back.
Thank you for your question. Very fun. Thanks for all the questions. Anaris, Zeno, Lucy, Chris, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And one more
Thank
time, big round
y'all.
of applause for the stars of My Hero Academia.
Y'all.
All right.